Welcome to Living Love, a podcast about how to live a heart-centered life. My name is Victoria Price, and this is episode 10, The Power of Practice. It's a super short episode to set you up for success going forward. We ended last week's episode by shredding the approach to transformation that we're no longer going to follow, the problem-based approach. Now it's time to switch to the practice-based approach. But before we dive into that, I want to give you all a little reminder. This podcast is all about love with the capital L. Big L love. The love that has always been our birthright and our truth, but which we all too often forget. It was practice that brought love back to the front and center of my life. Then, after experiencing the transformational power of heart-centered practices, I began sharing them with friends, colleagues, and clients. I watched love transform their lives too. My book, Living Love, gathered those same heart-centered love practices into one small volume so that anyone can incorporate them into their life. And now this podcast aims to talk you through it. The practices are all very simple. They're made up of tools and exercises, guidelines and suggestions, so that you too can begin living love in daily, deliberate, conscious and committed ways. Take your time with them. They're not meant to be rushed through or done all at once. The practice of living love is a lifelong process. There are no prizes for finishing first or being best. We all end up at the same place we all began, in love. In order to use the book and this podcast to help you remember the power of love in your own life, I encourage you to really try to dive in. Try each writing prompt, tool, exercise, or practice at least 3 times. If one doesn't resonate for you right now, put it aside and focus on the ones that do. One day, you may be drawn back to a discarded or overlooked practice, just as one day you may set aside a favorite for a while. This is the nature of heart-centered practice. It is fluid because it is guided by love. If you get an idea for a new practice you want to try, go for it. Living Love isn't a Bible, it's a template to lay a foundation for you to create your own love-centered life, co-created with love and with a growing community of heart-centered practitioners. In other words, this is for you to do with what you will. But I do have one suggestion. Whatever you do, invite love in to do it with you, through you, as you. This is a book that love has made. And by living love, you will remember the you that love has made too. Remember to be prepared with a journal and pen or whatever your favorite digital mode of writing may be. And now, to prepare you for next week's episode, I want to ask you one thing. Open that journal and write down any practices you currently have. They can be anything. Making a good cup of coffee in the morning, watching the birds at your bird feeder, daily walks with your dog. Just write them down. And then next to that, a sentence or two about why you have kept those practices. Think about that from the angle of what they do for you on a daily basis to keep you centered in your own heart. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for opening your heart to try new things. And thanks for continuing to kick fear in the can and choose love. Until next week.